Is Angel Dust really stronger than Colossus? To what barely noticeable details should we pay attention in order to answer this question, and why did Colossus suddenly start losing when fighting with Juggernaut? I'll answer these and some other interesting questions related to the Deadpool franchise in this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and support the video with your activity, this is very important for me. Our old friend Colossus, aka Pyotr Rasputin. And yes, I was hoping to see much more of him in Deadpool 3 until the last moment. The chrome-plated giant, irresistible in his charisma and sometimes childish naivety, was the real mascot of the first two parts of the franchise. But even though there wasn't much of Pyotr in the recently released Deadpool 3, we have something to talk about. And in this short video, I'll focus on Colossus's fights and the climaxes of the first two films, namely the one with Angel Dust and of course his epic face-off with Juggernaut and the sequel. There are lots of interesting details to unpack and hairs to split there, trust me. Although most of the really important stuff can be gleaned from the first film, so the bulk of the video will be devoted to it. So why did Colossus lose the fight with Angel Dust? Yes, you might say that everything is quite clear here. Colossus lost because he didn't want to hurt a woman, which he himself stated at the very beginning. And to his credit, he tried to show good manners till the very end, strange as it may sound in the context of a fight. And in many ways, it is true. If we analyze the entire confrontation between Colossus and Christina, yes, that's a real name if we refer to the source material, we can see that Colossus actually landed only 2 serious hits with full force, or with significant force anyway. Here and here. Christina clearly didn't like it, and these blows obviously dealt some damage. But still, the main reason why Colossus lost is that Angel Dust is just insanely strong. Remember how this fight ended? When Christina starts to choke Colossus, depriving his brain of normal blood supply and oxygen, yes, this version of Colossus needs oxygen, Negasonic intervenes. She uses her explosive blow, landing next to our couple, and it knocks Christina out, as we understand later, but does not knock Colossus out. Or that's what we were shown in the theater version of the film. But there are also some deleted scenes that were not included in the theater version, and according to them, Negasonic's blow knocks Colossus out and knocks him out cold, as we can see in these shots. Christina, meanwhile, only pretends to be unconscious in order to catch Negasonic off guard and deal with her. And this is despite the fact that when Negasonic hit them, Colossus was lying on the ground and Christina was not. That is, Pyotr was in a more advantageous position and it still did not help him. But the second blow from Negasonic knocks Angel Dust out anyway. That is, both in the theater version of the film and in the cutscenes, it was Negasonic who was able to deal significant damage to Christina, or rather, her ability to accumulate high-power explosive blows. All this means is that Angel Dust, despite the fact that some of Pyotr's blows caused her discomfort, is able to withstand enormous damage. And where does such power come from? Here it's worth turning to the source material. There, in the comics, Christina is an adrenaline mutant. That is, her strength and resistance to damage grew progressively as adrenaline is produced in her body. This was not stated directly in the film. Ajax introduced Christina to us as a mutant with superhuman strength. Adrenaline wasn't even mentioned. But remember when Wade hit her with his head, taking the match, it seemed like this one hurt, and she definitely didn't like it. And here, when Colossus hits her in the face, she doesn't even change her expression. Maybe after all in the film, Angel Dust's strength and durability also grow as adrenaline is produced. It seems that in these scenes they wanted to demonstrate how Christina's psychomotor system gets stronger after a serious blow from Colossus. Anyway, feel free to comment what you think about it. So we came to the conclusion that Angel Dust definitely has an enormous resistance to damage, and in addition she also has the ability to increase her physical characteristics as the central nervous system is stimulated. Are these the only things that made this fight so hard for Colossus? Of course not. These shots clearly show how much Pyotr is inferior to his opponent in terms of speed and agility. And let's remember the very first blow Christina landed on him. The hit was so strong that, even though for a short moment, but Pyotr literally fainted. By the way, the same is true for Christina's last blow. But of course there's a different story there. Given that not a single blow from Colossus could cause comparable damage to Christina, all they did was only anger her. Yes, Colossus's unwillingness to harm a woman, which again sounds strange when we try to analyze this absolute massacre, is far from the main reason for his loss. And yes, I still think that Pyotr lost this battle, let's be honest. Colossus simply underestimated his opponent, and he was not ready for a fight with Angel Dust, who turned out to be just devilishly strong and, what is no less important, much faster. But Pyotr is not as naive as you may think. He certainly learned from this experience. And in the second part of the franchise, we saw a completely new Pyotr. The first thing that caught the eye was, of course, the change in his physical shape, which will also be relevant for Deadpool 3. He realized that to fight such strong opponents, he needs to be much more agile and fast. And apparently he cut the carbs in his diet. In the first part, he actually focused a lot on food. It seems that this version of Colossus spent all the free time he had eating. And, well, apparently he decided to quit it. Of course, in addition, he changed his approach to training, making it more functional. Thanks to all of that, in the sequel, Colossus became a very different kind of fighter, which would surely have caused Angel Dust a lot of problems. However, Christina not only taught Pyotr that he needed to be faster, she taught him something else, not to be squeamish about fighting dirty. Yes, again, with Christina, Pyotr would hardly have dared to do so. But Juggernaut, on the other hand, is just the right opponent for this way of fighting. Well, with him, there's simply no other way. In general, when it comes to the battle between Colossus and Juggernaut, you can't really say that either of the two has an obvious advantage. There isn't much in the way of interesting details here. Juggernaut expectedly gains points due to his brute force, Colossus does due to his newfound agility and the ability to fight dirty. He can do that, and he's not shy about it anymore. But the incident with the bus divides the fight into the before and after. Remember, in one of the videos we talked about Domino's luck technically being luck at the expense of others' bad luck. So when Domino needs a bus to save the kids, she gets it. She's lucky, and after that, Pyotr, who's in close proximity, starts to be unlucky. At first, he almost got hit by the bus. After that very bus, it caused some trouble for Juggernaut too. Namely, Pyotr's bad luck lies in the fact that Juggernaut starts to dominate in the fight and retains the advantage. The attempts to fight dirty that worked before suddenly stop working. But Yukio and Negasonic, who arrived just in time, save the day. And Negasonic shows the effectiveness of her abilities when fighting against strong opponents once again. And if it weren't for the streak of bad luck caused by Domino's forces, Pyotr would have had every chance to neutralize Juggernaut on his own. But interestingly, in neither the first nor the second case, Colossus in any way considers himself a loser. Why, you may ask? Right, because he's part of the team, and the team won anyway. For Pyotr, his own self doesn't exist. After all, we know that the ability to work in a team is the main trait Pyotr appreciates in others. The trait that he's constantly trying to teach Deadpool, with mixed results, of course. But one way or another, the story of Colossus isn't the story of constant self-improvement. It's the story of one simply good guy from the Russian hinterland. If you liked this video, subscribe to my channel, give it a thumbs up, comment, and share it with your friends. Bye!